can't think, other than going 4-0 as opposed to 3-1, I cannot think of a better start for the Steelers at the rough quarter pole here than what they've done, coupled with what the rest of the AFC North is facing. Like, how you look at Baltimore specifically, because no one's taking Cleveland seriously and no one's really taking Cincy seriously minus Burrow. How much trouble do you think the Ravens are in right now at 1-3 with a banged-up defense and an injured Lamar Jackson?
I think they've got serious issues. Even if Lamar were healthy, that Monday night game, which was now 9 days ago, it just had a weird vibe to it. From the moment the Ravens were at 1st and goal in the second quarter, they ran it once with Derrick Henry, then they ran it again with Derrick Henry, and they cut to Lamar, and he was very frustrated. And he had that frustration about him the rest of the night. And I assume the message was, you got a 2-time MVP, why are you taking the ball out of my hands down here? But the frustration continued to come back. And I pay close attention to the demeanor of a quarterback when things are going well, when things are going poorly. What message, what vibe is he sending to the rest of the world, specifically to his other 10 teammates on offense and the 11 guys who play defense, and really the entire team? Because Lamar's the heart and soul of the Ravens. And it just was a message that made me say something is off. And we've seen it now. They lost a game they should have won to the Bills. Mm-hmm. They easily beat the Browns, although the game wasn't quite 41-17 in feel. They still beat them by 24 points. And then that loss to the Ravens, I think it stung because 2 years ago, the Lions, 2 years ago, basically the same two teams got together, and it was 38-6 Baltimore. And then to lose to the Chiefs in a must-win game for both teams, and then to have the injury, I just think the bottom's close to coming out for the Ravens. And I agree with you. You couple 3-1 with the Ravens 1-3 and sinking possibly. The Browns, I think the Browns need to be taken seriously because they are capable of winning any given Sunday, and who knows what Dylan Gabriel is going to do. Joe Flacco was their biggest weakness, and they still beat the Packers a couple of weeks ago. So don't write them off. But the Bengals are done. Unless they trade for Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston or maybe even Kirk Cousins, I don't see that happening. It's a lot cheaper to pay Wilson and Winston, and cheap, as we know, is the key word for the Bengals. The Bengals are done. They're cooked. And here are the Steelers. They had 3 winnable games to start the season, and they lost one of them. The first toss-up was Sunday in Ireland, and they won it. So 3-1 is a great way to start when you consider in only one game did both halves of the team show up. And if both halves of the team show up on a regular basis, the Steelers are going to win enough games to get to the playoffs, and the question is, what will they do when they get there? But, it's attrition, and we're seeing high-level contenders possibly fade. Bengals fade. Ravens maybe fade. It opens the door for the Steelers to take the place of that team. Now, there's still the Bills. Don't write off the Chiefs. You got to deal with the Broncos, who I think are going to make a run. The Colts are for real. But the Steelers have a seat at the table 4 weeks in, and that's more than they could have hoped for, especially after that Week 1 win that felt like a loss to the Jets.